All right, the prevailing wisdom among the professional political prognosticators is that it's all gloom and doom for Republicans come the November midterms.
And we're 89 days away from a midterm election that is already a steeper than steep hill for the Republican Party.
If the best that they can do here is basically a tie, a slight win, that is not good news at all for Republicans come the fall.
The turnout lessons, the money lessons, all still suggest that this is going to be a good election for Democrats. That's not a debate. I think the debate is how big does the wave get?
The debate's over. Well, and they're already busy writing the president's political obit for 2020.
We're going to talk about unlucky 7. That's the average number of false, misleading statements President Trump has made per day since inauguration. It's also how much he's losing to a certain Democrat in a 2020 matchup.
I feel very good about the prospects of both taking back the House and the Senate in the midterms, and very good about the prospects of taking the White House.
And while it is true that Republicans have an uphill climb in the House, let's not forget that those same experts who are gleefully forecasting the GOP's demise are the same ones who had egg on their faces on election night. First, in its latest iteration, the Real Clear Politics average of polls about the country's direction finds that more Americans, 41.3%, find that Trump is setting us on the right track than at any other moment since December 2012. That's the right track, wrong track. Second, to the idea that Trump's base is shrinking, there is ample evidence to refute that. A brand new Pew Research poll finds that for most Trump voters, the warm feelings for him, I love that, the warm feelings for him over the past couple of years have endured. Furthermore, Trump has many more converts, people who voted for him but didn't like him, who have since warmed, than those who liked him in 2016 and have, quote, cooled. I love the warm cooled. And despite the near daily barrage of negative coverage about Mueller, tariffs, immigration, his approval ratings have remained pretty consistent. And they've even improved with his rural base, despite the stories we're told about the farmers who would turn on him over his aggressive trade policies.
In 19 farm states surveyed by Morning Consult exclusively for CNBC, 10 states saw President Trump's rural approval rating improve between May and the end of July. 7 saw it stay the same in that period, and just 1, Idaho, saw it decline.
I'm a big believer if you're in a bad deal, be it a lease, be it an agreement with a business partner, you owe it to yourself to step up and try to make it better for both parties and negotiate it. But for sure, it needs to be better for yourself. And I think simply that's what this administration is attempting to do.
We're going to trust that the president will have at least some success in negotiating a trade deal that will support corn, soybeans, and actually everything that the U.S. exports.
Now, despite all the positive trends for the president, there are a few real areas of concern. First, polling trouble spots. A recent NPR PBS NewsHour Marist poll reveals that not only do most female voters prefer Democrats this fall, but nearly 6 in 10 suburban women strongly disapprove of Trump. And that same Pew poll mentioned above also found that women with a college degree are the most likely Trump voters to have soured on him since the election. And finally, a recent Wall Street Journal NBC poll found that just 36% of independents approve of Trump's job, down 7 points from just 1 month earlier. And also distractions. The president must, let's face it, keep his eyes on the prize. Check out the complaint of this former Trump supporter.
My issue with this president, who I voted for, is the fact that he has something negative to say about every other leader. But you try saying one little comment that's negative about Trump himself. He jumps into a fit and he has this Twitter tirade.
But don't women think men have thin skins anyway? I mean, come on, most of us do. The more the president, I think, veers off his message, I said this on Monday, and wastes time reacting to every distraction, whether it's Russia or Stormy Daniels, any of these other things, Michael Cohen, Avenatti, the more he risks losing, I think more voters like Mary. The economy's good. It's a period of peace and prosperity. So women like Trump the protector, the strong guy. They like that. But for these swing voters, he might not seem as charming when it seems like he's fighting everyone at once. They want things to calm down a little. For President Trump, the message is simple. Be the happy warrior we see at a lot of these rallies. Touting the economic resurgence, you can pat yourself on the back a little. Media's not going to do it. The renaissance in manufacturing, and talk about how you want the economy to benefit all people, forgotten Americans of all backgrounds, races, ethnicities, like you did this afternoon.
One of the single most important things we're doing is to help former inmates in creating jobs. We're creating so many jobs that former inmates for the first time are really getting a shot at it. Our unemployment rate is so low, historically low, 50 years. Now our economy is booming, businesses are hiring, and recruiting workers that were previously overlooked, they're being hired. It's a great feeling. It's a great thing that we've all accomplished.
By the way, prison reform, jobs training, that is vital. It's a vital issue to this country. Recidivism, we want to decrease it if we can. And it's an issue that the president is desperately trying to get to yes on. And it might also have the added benefit of helping with some of those discontented voters who are on the fence as well. Finally, Mr. President, don't ignore that right track reading we mentioned at the top. As the Washington Post wrote ahead of the 2016 election, quote, the nation's mood is intrinsically important, providing a basic gauge of how Americans think the country is doing and whether people are more optimistic or pessimistic than in the past. Presidents can succeed or fail regardless of the public's mood, but the public's overall outlook sets the stage for political debates. Sets the stage for political debates. That final line is most important for Trump and Republicans. Use that data point. Draft off that economic success. Be positive about America's current economic standing. It's a great time to be an American. We have problems, but my goodness, other than the early years of Reagan, I can't think of a better economy. Set the terms of the debate yourself. Do not be defined by others. We're already on the right track, Mr. President. All you need to do now is not let the wrong track get you sidetracked. And that's the angle.